Hello everyone. Thank you so much for coming to this YouTube channel and watching this video. So I'm doing a podcast with Gaurang. He's from India only and he's doing great in the area of immunotherapy. So I know you're all choosing CSC branch and allied branches, but here we can see Gaurang who has proved himself in a separate career path. So, with this podcast, I want to motivate all the students to think in an unconventional manner and also prove themselves. So, once again, thank you so much, Gaurang, for accepting my invitation and joining this podcast on a short notice. So, Gaurang, can you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah. So, hi everyone, and first of all, thank you for inviting me. And yeah, so my name is Gaurang Telang, and I am from Mumbai, and I'm still doing my PhD back in India, and now I have moved recently to Regensburg, Germany, where I am a part of a working group here, a research group in Leibniz Institute for Immunotherapy. So uh, technically, it's a very unconventional considered in even my field to do a PhD and do a job at the same time. So yeah, so I would consider as an outlier in the whole bell-shaped curved. Yes.
Yeah. Good to know about you, Gaurang. So, can you please let us know where did you do your graduation, undergraduation?
Yeah. So I did my graduation, that was BTech in biotechnology from Dr. D.Y. Patil University, that is in Navi Mumbai, and that was School of Biotechnology and Bioinformatics. So that was a 4-year course. Shortly, it was a BTech course, so it was more of an applied sciences, not like BSc where you choose pure sciences. But that gave a very good foundation for me to go out and test what fields I like. So we did do electronics and engineering drawing because that's mandatory in India if you do a BTech. All the lasers and even some part of quantum, physics too, for to understand the Heisenberg's principle and everything. So that's the BTech part. Then, as you know, it is mandatory to do a dissertation or thesis at the end of the degree to apply your knowledge. So I did do in stem cell biology. So I went to Pune to an independent lab to do a 6 months thesis on stem cell biology. I really liked the techniques specifically that I used to learn. Like I used to, got an exposure to it to learn new things, which was, you know, either difficult or expensive to do when you are in college. So that introduced me to immunology too, because usually the techniques you used in stem cell biology and like human cell culture to grow human cells is usually the same. So then, as you know, that there was COVID, and the COVID happened. So then I started working as a research assistant in a similar lab in Pune, and also enrolled myself as a for masters at D.Y. Patil University, Pune. Meanwhile, to get a since it was mostly an online thing, we had to go sometimes in person, but that gave me an additional edge because while it was very difficult for other students to go in person and get the practicals done or get a hands-on training on stuff, I was able to do it on on regular basis as I was working as a research assistant. So that's how the postgraduate part completed. So I would consider it as a very maybe the best decision I have taken so far. just, it was difficult during COVID, but yes, that's what helped me to get ahead faster.
Yes, Gaurang, that's a great decision you have taken, and it's really good to see now you are doing great in your job. So that is what I can see from the LinkedIn, and I could know. So even Gaurang, I was very much enthusiastic in CSC area, and I have done my MTech and I have done my PhD in artificial intelligence. It's not that I'm against AI and against data science or cyber security, something like that. But I see everybody is moving in that direction, and they are thinking that this is the only area they have to go forward. So with this podcast, I want to motivate all the students that okay, that is very good, but yeah, there is another path also which can get you great results like you have seen in your career. So Gaurang, on that positive note, what influenced you to take this unconventional and unusual career? So, what exactly motivated you? Was it from childhood or it suddenly happened?
Well, it wasn't from childhood, actually. So the first point I would consider is during my school days when I was approaching my 10th. So my biology teacher was a very passionate teacher. He still is. I still meet him. We are in contact, and he was actually, I wanted to do engineering too. Uh, but he helped me, get in love with the subject. So I decided I would l- let's pursue something that could be somewhere between engineering and biology. So that's where I chose biotechnology. Later in my bachelor's, I learned that the immune system is very complex, and it's just not about fighting infections or getting cold. So it's more than that. The immune system is capable of identifying and even killing cancer cells, and that we can use it to actually even prevent or cure cancers. So that's what sparked a very deep curiosity inside me, and that's the whole story.
Superb. So, what is your career path, Gaurang? Like, how has your career path? So, exactly, like,
It's been actually very unconventional, but yes, I took in India, that we have to choose between biology and phys or maths. So usually, like, people take physics, chemistry, biology, or physics, chemistry, maths, and drop the biology. I chose both. So yeah, so I took both because the primary reason was I was determined to do biotechnology, and I knew that you need a good foundational of mathematics to understand the logic behind techniques. So there's a lot of maths everywhere, so don't be scared. And apart from that, the career path has been conventional till my masters. After masters, I did a 1.5 year work as a lab manager in India, and it was a private company. And then I decided to move to Germany for further career, because there was the current techniques and current boom in biotechnology is all about cell and gene therapies. So slowly the world is moving towards personalized medicine. That one drug does not fit all. And what if you could take an injection and get rid of your cancer? So that's what the world is moving towards, and I wanted to learn more techniques. So that's why I moved here. I am still completing my PhD back in India. So it's in Amity University, Mumbai. Since it was an executive PhD program, or it would be considered as a part-time PhD program, uh, we have an flexibility that you have to present every 6 months your progress report. Fortunately, I was, let's consider timely enough to complete my experimentation before I left India. So now it's just the thesis and writing work and everything.
Yeah, superb, Gaurav. I could see your Google Scholar
Yeah.
and your publications. I was quite impressed with those publications. Can you please let us know in what area you are publishing your papers and motivate students to publish quality papers?
Yeah.
So that is what is the need of the hour. So can you please tell us, like those who are interested in the research area, even I can see in BTech also it is made mandatory to publish papers. So how to publish a good paper and what is the way to choose the topic, especially in these kind of unconventional areas?
Yeah. Well, you have to understand that you cannot just um, take some 3 4 months work and get a good paper. That's not how it works. Time is unrelated when it comes to publishing papers, so you need to have a lot of patience to understand that you have to solve a problem, you have to create a story, you have to tell the story to the world. It's not just about getting the publication. That's why still now there are a lot of papers that I'm still revising, under revision or under review. It takes time. It even takes 1 or 2 years. But that's how the system is, and that's how you get peer review. So good quality publication should be not just about a good journal with high impact factor, but about the quality of the work. Does it make a significant change? Does it have a good impact? Can you learn something out of that paper which, might inspire you to make new paper? So that's the whole point.
Yeah, that is excellent, Gaurang. So the other thing which came into my mind is like whenever we do research, especially for example, I was doing my research. So I was able to do by using my computer and I was able to do the tasks by collecting the data set. So all these things I was doing by writing code and all. But when it comes to your area, so how a student can get the lab atmosphere, like how they will be able to perform their experiments, because we generally follow a process which is known to everyone in the computer science area. But in your unconventional area, if somebody wants to enter and prove themselves, do some masters, or later on they want to do research, so how this lab atmosphere will they can they create?
So, first of all, you should, if you are interested into getting into biotechnology, so the first step would be to understand your interest, because the field is very vast, from producing beer to curing cancer to making, good quality yogurt. It involves everything. So you have to choose from food science to molecular science to molecular medicine, or even plant tissue culture, growing genetically modified plants. So you have to choose which path you want to go. I choose human immune system. So secondly, the basic techniques has to be there. You will be taught in your bachelor's and master's, but I would still recommend to go out, do internships in other institutes. Like there are many national institutes, even go abroad if possible. Also, do internships and trainings as much as possible to get exposure to the techniques first. So when you have exposure to the techniques, like not just microscopy but higher techniques, so you can think creatively. How can I use this to solve a particular problem? So getting a hands-on techniques uh, would be the first step to actually understand a problem. And that would be because in biotechnology there is also bioinformatics, where you do coding, where you do Python, MATLAB, R. But that's also very in your sense would be conventional. But yes, even biotechnology, many people do choose this, but then you need it's like biology. So you have to do a lot of protein folding, 3D modeling, molecular simulations, and everything. But ultimately, even if you do it on a computer, you have to prove it. Does it actually work? So that's the how what the part is. And people who can do both are preferred. So you should always expand the number of skills you have. So getting your hands-on training would be better.
That is very good to know about the entire process, Gaurang. And I hope that the students who are listening to this podcast definitely will find it very useful based on the tips you have given. So, what do you think is your first break in your career? Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Uh, First break would be actually doing my master's while working as a research assistant in Pune. That would be my first break because I learned a lot because I was learning theory and the practical at the same time with the same speed. And I was not just doing the same assays because we were trying to develop novel assays. We're not like new things. So that's what made difference, and that's how I also did a later on after finishing my masters a job. So that helped me to get the industrial perspective into it, not just the academic perspective. Like what the industry needs, what does a job require you to do. So that's I think that would I would consider that as my break.
yeah, super. So, if you choose these kind of unconventional path, obviously there will be challenges. So, what kind of hurdles, what kind of challenges you have come across in this career option you have chosen?
There will always be challenges in no matter what you choose in life, and if you have a lot of challenges, that you should consider it that it's a good sign. So the first challenge would be to the personal challenge, that would be a family, to convince them that this can work and this does have the scope, as people like to call it in India. Does this have scope? So you have to find the scope. Everything has scope, you just don't know it yet. Secondly would be to what I have personally seen is the commitment. If you take a decision towards your career, it's your commitment to yourself. You should not do it to prove it to others, not to do it to earn money, because money will come in place if you have the skills, and you will get the skills if you are curious enough. So never calculate the outcome before the input. Never do that. So always be committed to what you choose and work towards it.
Yeah, that is really awesome. So, as you rightly told, we should never choose outcome before the task we take up. So, our outcome will definitely come. So, in this perspective, Gaurang, I wanted to ask you, like, what are the job opportunities if a student chooses this kind of career option? So, where they can find themselves?
Yeah. There are actually a lot of options. Um, Going from academia, as you know, to in the industry. So you and some people after 4 or 5 years of lab work, let's say after masters or after doing a PhD, they feel like maybe lab work is too exhausting for me. I would rather have a job which is does not involve the lab directly. So then people move towards a regulatory career where you become quality officer or quality assurance officer. That's also a high demand in the industry. And sometimes people don't want a 9 to 5 job. Sometimes people are like that. They don't want a same thing to do. "Nah, I don't want to do the same thing again and again. I'll get bored enough." Then you should work in a CRO. A CRO is a contract research organization where it's a company where all the bigger companies give outsource their research to. So because either they don't have the capacity to do it or don't want to invest in the infrastructure and people. So you have to, the projects come on and you have to push your creativity, because not all projects are same. So every 3 months there is something else. So that would, some people like the like that. Some people want a very stable job. So that would also mean that you become an R&D specialist, or you go into, yeah, some people like to do involve business into it. So, business development managers, even field service engineers. So many companies who make devices or machines, which are used like microscopes or flow cytometers, or like tissue dissociators, a lot of things. So even there, students, if you who have skills, who have masters or PhD, are preferred, because then you can become an application scientist. Then you have to go to the scientist. The engineer does the fitting and everything, but you have to explain the machine, how the machine will help their research, their work. And for that you need to understand what work it is. So if you have a very good training and understanding of the lab, then you can explain it well to them. So these are some very unconventional career options which usually even people in my field, students, do not know that also exists. They just know that QC and QA and R&D exist, but these are also some options, great options, because you get to travel a lot.
Super, Gaurav. That was really awesome to know all the career options, because nowadays students have a dilemma, like what we will become after 4 years, what we will become after 6 years. Parents, they worry a lot. So you have cleared a very good point, and hopefully it will be very useful. So actually, I wanted to know, Gaurang, and we all want to know, what do you do in a day to day basis in your work? Actually, where do you work and what do you do exactly?
Yeah. So currently, I work in Regensburg, Germany, at a Leibniz Institute for Immunotherapy. So my regular work involves working with T cells, which are WBCs, in your blood. These are the cells. They are like, specialized army. Now, obviously, an army has a lot of battalions and troops and specialization and special forces and everything. Yes, so it's similar to an army, because there are a lot of type of T cells, and we work with a specific type of T cells. I would call them special forces, because these are the ones who actually go and kill the cells. If it is a cancer cell or an incoming, pathogen. So my work daily involves in understanding how these T cells can be made fitter in cancer patients. How can we make them fight longer, fight harder? And what if we could make them better in fighting the cancer and also prevent them, the cancer to come up again? Because that's an issue with cancer. If you have it once, there's a possibility that it, comes up again. So how can we make the T cells understand, identify, and kill the cancer faster? And also, in patients who have no conventional therapy fails.
That's really awesome, and it's really challenging task. So I wanted to know, Gaurang, how did you get this opportunity? Like, was it a campus interview, or like how did you apply? What was the actual process?
Yeah, so that is also an unconventional thing, because it was neither a campus placement or an application, because it was mostly in my field. It's mostly you have to apply to a scientist, you have to talk to a scientist if they have a open position in their lab, and that's how it works. So that is true if you want to do a PhD, master's, thesis, and dissertation too. Students have to be very proactive, and you should go and approach the scientists if you like their work, what they have published in the last 5-10 years. That's how you identify, okay, I want to learn that, I'm interested in that. So you talk to them, and usually everyone replies. Yeah.
So on a whole, I found that this is a great work you are doing. So, how do you think it is going to benefit the society in the coming years? Like, what will be the impact of your work?
Yeah.
Like,
So currently, the cost of cancer is just overwhelming, and families are literally destroyed because of the financial and the mental stress of cancer. So what we are trying to do is, if imagining if you could have, let's say, 2 or 3 injections every 6 months, or just 2 injection in a whole lifetime, and you don't get the cancer. You the cancer is detected, you take an injection, and that's it. So we are trying to make our body itself stronger and fitter, that it can kill it itself without any drugs. That is usually the treatment. So in the next 5 or 10 years, that would be the main thing to get into the clinical side, or as we call it, into the market. Uh, you can see the early signs of this in India. I don't know if you've heard it. They are called CAR T cells. So these are cells. This is the therapy, and currently in India, even the president has participated in that. So yeah, I mean, that's how the medicine is going to evolve in the coming decade.
okay. So maybe it's a kind of layman question I'm asking, Gaurang. Like, I'm not into this
Yeah.
exactly into this area, but I wanted to know how to build immune system, like how to be perfect in terms of immune system. Somebody says do exercise, somebody says eat well, sleep well, somebody says don't do much exercise, don't sit for long time, take a walk in between. So everybody is giving their own input. So on a whole, everybody is confused state, like how to build the immune system in the best possible manner. So what is your understanding, Gaurang, like how to build a good immune system?
So I would like to give you an example. Let's say um, you have a soldier, okay, and the soldier is trained throughout his training days in the, let's say, an army school, but the soldier never fought an actual enemy. Would you consider that soldier as a good soldier or a bad soldier?
Obviously, the one who has not fought, I treat them as a bad soldier only.
Exactly. So the point is, your immune system should be exposed to some pathogens. And I have seen some examples where, nowadays pe parents are very, they wash the hands and with sanitizer and everything. That's good practice. But if you do it very early in the age, like the kids are 4 or 5 years old and they're using sanitizer and washing them again and again, that would actually be detrimental to the kid in the long term, because the immune system is not exposed to any harm. So that's a problem. Also, yes, sleeping well, eating a balanced meal, and exercise does help. And it is actually a good practice. So, yes, staying fit and healthy, eating good food is recommended, especially going out in the sun, not just staying in artificial light, because vitamin D is very important for your immune system. So I would recommend that you should do the usual basics, but also understand that your immune system doesn't fail. You have cancer every day, and your immune system does identify it and kill it before even you know. The point is, the time when immune system fails or stops, that's when you get cancer. So keep it healthy, eat good food, and make sure that you are doing regular checkups and health checkups. So even if you find it early, that would be a beneficial thing. The time is very important.
Awesome, Gaurang. You have told it in a excellent manner, and I really liked it. So, what is your advice to students, Gaurang? Like, So many doubts. I see lakhs of students are there across the globe. So it can be more also. So how do you advise them? Like what should they do to establish a excellent career?
Um, I can speak for my field, but I think some of it also applies to other fields too. Uh, I what I have seen, over the years is because I was also a student that the proper guidance is sometimes lagging, even by the professors, even by the parents, because someone tells you something and then you just follow it blindly. That's I would recommend. You should talk to more people, understand what else is also going on in the world. Also, if you like something, you should always understand how the path of that career is going to be. So you have to sit, you have to write it down, what it going to mean. So, I've seen students have a very vague idea about the end goal, but that's also I would recommend, and being committed to what you actually like. And there is also another perspective. Sometimes you thought you liked something a lot, but when you actually do start it, you feel like that's not what I imagined. And it's okay if you want to switch, because you do not fear the judgment just because you thought something else. So it's okay. It's your career, it's your decision, and it's your choice. You should not feel pressured anyway in shape or form, and be committed towards what you like. If you work, the nothing goes waste. You will have the results. It may be delayed, but you will get it.
That is true, Gaurang. And what is your future plan, Gaurang? Like how you see in the coming 10 years and 20 years? How do you see yourself?
Well, that's a very interesting question. I think that in the coming years, I see myself as the one. I want to do is to, uh, you know, bring novel things, which I've seen, and the research that I am learning here to India, and understand how we can apply to our society, and how can we make it more affordable, more faster, and accessible to all. So that would be my aim to do it. Now the exact path to do it would change. It is variable, but the end goal is this: to make it affordable, accessible, cheaper for everyone.
Awesome, Gaurang. Definitely, I wish you all the best, and definitely you will do great in your profession. And that positive note, thank you so much for joining this podcast. And it is really informative. I have learned a lot before this half an hour and after this half an hour. If you measure me, definitely there is a changeover in me in terms of knowledge. So hopefully it will be the same for all the audience. And definitely, if you all go through this video, please share your comments in the comment section and do like it and share it. Yeah. Thank you so much, Gaurang.
Thank
Have a
you.
great time.
Thank you.
Thank you.